Thanks for joining us for Issues and Answers. I'm Ian Boyne. Today we focus on education and we speak to the Minister of Education, Youth and Information, Senator the Honorable Ruel Reid. There are issues we know that you're concerned about in the education sector, and we hope to explore some of those. And we welcome you as usual to our program. Minister, good to have you in studio.
Yes,
you're just back from London at
Yes.
an important conference, the Education World Forum,
Yes.
where you presented.
Yes.
First, give us a little background to this forum. What were the main issues that were under consideration and so on?
Well, we were invited by the British Council in Jamaica and hosted largely by the British government, and who had launched actually a education commission report looking at the state of education across the globe, and particularly as it relates to developing countries. Part of its own emphasis was how are we preparing our children currently for the fourth, what they call the fourth industrial revolution,
Yes,
the
right.
knowledge era where technology is now dominating.
Absolutely.
And the highlight of that for me was not only in terms of utilizing technology, in terms of efficiency, how you would deliver your lesson, how you manage schools, how you manage information flow, but a very central part of the theme that was presented is how we build into our curriculum the values and attitudes that are necessary for persons to function properly in society.
Interesting. So it wasn't just a matter of talking about the technical education, the cognitive matters,
Right.
but values.
Absolutely, the whole person. In fact, we're quite heartened that we're consistent with our own vision of education as holistic,
Yes.
dealing with the total person. Because we too are working on rolling out our own values and attitudes program, a values-based education system, building character.
Yeah. And as you listen to other presentations, Minister, conversed with people from around the world, what do you come back with? Do you find that we are really on the cusp of important things here? Are we doing the critical things in education that when you look at what others are doing around the world, you can say, yes, we're on the right track?
Yeah, I think for us that was a great validation because, I have articulated and through the education reform, and I had to champion that we have been almost married to the British system, the grammar type,
Yes.
where very few students go beyond grade 11 and very few persons have had access to higher education. We've articulated that we don't have that view anymore. We want all our students to aspire to the highest possible potential that they have, and that we want tertiary education to be an aspiration for every student. So when we designed a CAP program and following on the own mandate from Prime Minister Holness, is to now signal to the entire society that you just don't outschool. You yearn for lifelong learning. We want full certification for all our students. So I've spoken about a 0 to 30. We take them through CAP from grade 11 to grade 13, age 18, but they are not to stop there. Lifelong learning, and they shouldn't even feel comfortable until they have achieved their full potential in tertiary education. We're ahead of most of the other countries, certainly developing countries in terms of this aspiration. But if you look at the more successful economies, Finland or certain Australia that I often refer to, they've actually been doing that long ago. And these countries, by the way, have also integrated quite nicely what we call classical education and technical education, which in fact was pretty much embraced by this particular forum. Right? Now, where I think countries such as Finland, having read up what they have done strategically, although their education system started a bit later in terms of students going to the formal education system at age 7, what we concurrently just rolled out is understand that each child, each student is unique. They're different. They have different learning styles. So you have to have a framework of special education that also powers your teachers to be able to diagnose your student. Each student have their own profile. You're almost treating them like a doctor would treat a patient. That was highlighted as part of the new norm in education. And it is a conversation now that I need to have with or policy makers within the education system and or teacher training institutions, because how we have trained our teachers, many of them don't have this kind of skill set to be able to diagnose effectively and to deal with students with diverse needs. So this is something that we have to master as an education system. If it is that we are saying we're not going to leave any child behind, if it is that we're going to allow that every child to fulfill his or her full potential.
Yes. And Minister, I saw your speech. You made a strong emphasis on technical and vocational education.
Yeah, but you know,
and matching the needs of the society in terms of the workforce needs and the education system.
But that is absolutely critical, because the whole world and the global economy has changed. I mean, many years ago, when we were predominantly extractive primary producers, then unskilled labor, manual labor was pretty much what industry required. Now that has shifted, and now you need the majority of your workforce to be highly trained and highly skilled. And therefore, now 80 to 90%, by the way, of your workers are in functional areas in every organization requiring those skills. So therefore, the education system has got to ensure, which again was a complaint that people were raising at the conference, that the employers are now making the very same complaint, that we are not producing students who are ready for the world of work. This is why we have said that even how we construct our education system, modeled after the British, that's not going to solve that problem. Because, at grade 11, students who are exiting the system at grade 11 are not really ready and prepared for the world of work. They really need more time, as happened in Finland, for them to at least get those additional training that are what we call workforce ready, right? The employability skills are what you're going to more develop at that particular stage, and also post-secondary. So, the notion that you go to high school and then you're ready for the world of work, it has to be, it's very outdated. And the employers want specialized skills, and the specialized skills are post-secondary skills, because they don't want the task now of training and certifying you. They want you come ready, certified with the experience. That's why we also want to roll out the National Apprenticeship Program, so that not only do we have the technical competencies, but they will have the practical workforce hands-on experience.
When we come back, Minister, we talk about the apprenticeship program. Minister of Education, Youth and Information, Senator the Honorable Royal Reid, on Issues and Answers. We take a break, but we'll be right back.